for the hiatus. We had a few issues going on earlier this week, but 3Xs.Six. We're going to Boston. Ship it up to Boston! Beantown. Land of championships. The droughts don't last too long, sorry Bruins. It's the home of the Boston Tea Party, the American Revolution. Home of celebrities, aka massholes, Mark Wahlberg, David Portnoy, Ellen Pompeo, and of course the adopted home city of the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. It's got Harvard, MIT, Boston College. Paul Revere was here. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. But aside from all of the greatness that it already has, it's got a lot of great music to offer. Belmont in Nashville probably gets a lot of attention for its music school. But even better is the Berklee College of Music in Boston. U2 got their start here. Aerosmith started here. Of course, Boston started here. Anywhere you step foot in this town, there's great music. Or it's starting. I think if Alexander the Great could live in modern times, and he would have a cultural hub ruling the world, it would be Boston. To me, it's significant in that my very first concert ever was U2 in concert in Boston. Kings of Leon warmed him up too. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, everyone there was drunk. I was 13. The guy next to me couldn't stop talking to me about how amazing this band was. Still, a great first experience for a concert. But beyond my juvenile experience, which was incredible, you have to admit, amazing stuff happens here. TD Garden, where the Celtics, the Bruins play. That's where I saw U2 and Kings of Leon. It's one of the bigger venues. Acts like the Chainsmokers, Carrie Underwood, Cher, Elton John, just this year. And Bostonites love to brag about this place. It's historic. It fits in with their city. TD Garden's super green, though not as green as the Green Monster. Thank you, Fenway. And so this place is just literally the mecca of great entertainment. But truthfully, I wouldn't be able to survive in a city like Boston if TD Garden was the only place I could go to. It's super expensive. Again, bands like U2, Elton John, people that have literally grossed the most amount of money on their concert tours in their entire lifetime. Probably won't be able to go to that every weekend. So let's look a little smaller. The Rockland Bank Trust Pavilion, the Live Nation venue, and if you couldn't tell from previous episodes, I like the outdoor stuff. This one's covered. Bands like Government Mule, Rob Thomas, Iration, Weird Al Yankovic. Yeah, we're riding nerdy. It's everything you can ask for without the struggle of TD Garden. But still, it's a little rich for me. Plus, there's a lot more culture involved when you go a little more west instead of east in Boston. And if there's one thing I know about Boston, is that you should trust the people that went to Harvard. There's probably something those kids over there know that we don't. And one of the venues close to Harvard is a place called Great Scott. It's one of those let all hell break loose joints. Literally, the stage is probably 10 by 10, maybe a foot off the ground. You can get right up to a band and jam with them. Potty Mouth, Astronoid, Kyle Kraft, and Showboat Honey. These aren't even up-and-comers, they're virtual no-ones. They are not making TMZ quite yet. You can get reckless and rowdy with them right next to the stage. Make a fool of yourself. Make them notable. Support your local bands. And support the small bands. Great Scott's a great place to have that. I think the key to the experience in Boston is that you need to try stuff. Whether that's the Dunkin' Donuts coffee right across the street from another Dunkin' Donuts coffee, whose coffee is probably better, literally right across the street, to getting trapped in the one-ways downtown, having no idea where you're going, and somehow finding some cool historical landmark, or having fun doing what the locals do, going someplace that you probably didn't expect that has amazing opportunities for live music. So thanks again to the Massholes. Thanks again to Boston. This is going to be fun. Need to give a shout out, huge shout out, to my buddy Matt Stubblefield for introducing me to this song, Heroes Get Remembered, Legends Never Die, by 4 Year Strong. He introduced me to this band in college, and I fell in love with it on first listen. Kind of distances itself from the traditional pop-punk style, maybe closer to the alternative genre, maybe even a little screamo. And while it has some questionably undiscernible lyrics, it's clearly in the woe is me category, the love song range, and therefore it's clearly as emo alternative as you can find. And seeing them live was an experience, man. Bought a poster commemorating them, part of South by So What? I mean, it's gotta be an incredible experience if you're having a good experience at a minor league baseball park. But as great as I think they are, is this song really great? So first, to write off the South by So What vibe, maybe not a singable song, maybe not a danceable song. You're not going to be two-stepping, no twerking, And if Darren's dance groups were to choreograph the song, I would be genuinely impressed. But despite all that, you can bet your ass I'd be absolutely out there moshing with the rest of them. And I was. Bumped, bloodied, and bruised all over. I've never seen so much headbanging in my life. I was definitely out there with the air guitar and the air drums too. And when I started crowd surfing, security took me to the very back. Rest assured, I made my way to the front about 4 more times after crowd surfing. It was a day, don't doubt me. So to that degree, you don't need to be singing. You just need to be involved. So thumbs up, number 1. Second, like I've already said, I listened to this song with my friend Matt Stubblefield. We put it on an aux cord in a car driving around town. Windows down, we were jamming. So don't fight me on this being an aux cord song. You get around your buddies, this is there. Thumbs up, number 2. And if you question whether or not this song is catchy, trust me, once that double bass drum hits, once the vocals ring in, once that guitar just goes, you're not gonna look back. That's a fact. Thumbs up, number 3. So yes, genuinely great, 3Xs approved song, great. Heroes get remembered, legends never die, by 4 Years Strong. I'm going to pose a very existential question to you. What do you get when you mix classic rock with a new era of alternative? Probably weakened friends. No, not weekend drinking friends, as in weak, not strong, weakened friends. It's not necessarily that they're epitome of modern punk or garage rock, but I'll be damned if they don't make a name for themselves trying. And my favorite track by them is Blue Again, from their most recent album, Common Blah. Kind of on that first listen, it's a distorted guitar that really gets me. I hear this Pixies-like intro, but it's got just a subtle little slow fall into the abyss of the rest of the song that really catches you. And when you take the time to really, and I mean really, listen, you find that the vocals are the strongest. The drums crashing around to add a ton of height, but it's the vocals that are the strongest, not the weakest. It's a different type of singing. It's kind of screamo, it's kind of not screamo. It's yelling really more than anything. Kind of like how Johnny Cash would talk sing, this band Scream sings. But it's an emotional ballad wrapped up in garage rock, or at least that style. I mean, it just wavers up and down. It really tags that emotion. But on top of that, the vocals match really well with what the drums are doing and what the rest of the instruments are doing. Remember what Paramore did for the alternative scene? This is right up that alley. And Blue Again will make an impression. Long and lasting impression. And if you're gonna go to Boston and you want some new rock and roll, Weekend Friends and their song Blue Again is definitely where you should look first. I've said it since the beginning, it's really hard to go to these cities and avoid the rap scene. Boston is absolutely drowning in good rap in the 808s. So welcome, Cousin Stizz. I don't know what a Stizz is, I had to look it up online. I guess it's a jock that only ever wants to get some. And while his album Mondo was only released in 2016, a few years ago, it's new to me. I'm gonna treat it as such. We're gonna review it as such. It's kind of trippy. Personally, I think he doesn't need to come out with any more albums. I think he just needs to keep releasing singles, EPs, keep up the good work on a very intimate level on his music. This is not your Lil Nas X type country, or the kind of country that I guess that's synonymous with now, where the heavy bass is compromising the lyrics. This is more in line with like Amigos. The beat's there for a reason. Cousin Stizz has a knack for keeping true to the hustle and flow. So much flow, it makes my hair look like a buzz cut. But it keeps a traditional chorus, it has emphasis in the right spots, it finds rhythm in the right points, and it clearly asserts his hustle and flow mentality, his dominance in the business of rap. His song 500 Horses clearly puts him in the dominance category in the Boston rap scene. It's businesslike, it's dominant, it uses the right vocabulary. The other thing I like about this is that it's not too fast, it's not too slow. It's just the right amount of hustle and rap. And for a name like Stizz, Cousin Stizz, trust me, he gets plenty releasing this song, 500 Horses. My taste generally lean towards that Mac Miller type sound when it comes to rap. Easy listening with a pinch of edginess. It questions tradition. It pushes your listening forward. It's kind of jazz orchestra, right? Michael Christmas in his song Grab Her Hand has just that right vibe. And coincidentally enough, it has Mac Miller. It's right up Mac's alley. And coincidentally, it is right up Michael Christmas's alley. I really don't want to make this review a comparison to Mac Miller, But that's really hard to do. When you have two very talented artists going at it together in composition, it makes it really hard to say that this isn't a masterpiece. The only way that I can describe Michael Christmas as different than Mac Miller is the ice. The ice. Mac's more orchestrated. Seriously, take a look at his NPR Tiny Desk. And Michael Christmas is more ice. He's got this cold jazz sound. It's not going to get the melodic tones, the symphonic attributes, but it has an easy edge that bounces around with the same timbre and production that makes it genuinely unique and pushes sound forward. This song brilliantly brings both sides together. Lay a Mac track down over Michael Christmas. Wow. Bring this to your next soiree or gala. It won't have the heavy 808s. It's classy. It's elegant. And yet it has that urban sound that makes you feel like any type of person can relate. Plus, I think the fact that Stealing a Girl is anything that a musician can relate to, especially when you're this talented. So I think it definitely kind of has that rock and roll character to it. And I hand it to these two talented guys. It's interesting. It's mysterious. And Michael Christmas does an amazing job of laying down some tracks for Grab Her Hand. This is funky. And it has a beat. Like right when you think there's going to be a drop, he hits you in the face with a produced backbeat. Latrell James's Okay. Dropping heats. It's not as easy a beat as you would expect to find in the normal rap scene, but it has layers. And that makes it specifically rap. This isn't a fusion effort that incorporates symphonic elements or rips lines from other songs. This is clearly, decisively Latrell James sound. And it's an effort that plays to his strengths brilliantly. Now, I'll go ahead and say it. He repeats okay maybe too many times. But that's something that if you were to see him live, you can really get into. But that's not to say that the repetitive okay gets old. Again, that's one of his strengths. Maybe by the end of the song, you know what to say. But there are some rap lines in the middle that make it a rap line genuinely Latrell James. I also think he kind of plays with this format of expectation and cliche very well. He lays down some rules. Don't listen to politicians and don't mess with your mama's business. That's pretty easy to remember, okay? So it kind of throws what you're expecting on its head and it gets you involved. And to that degree, I think that this rap song really has some emotional power. That, and I think it will have some cultural power. It's a mix of high class and low class combined together that makes it decisively rap with a great backbeat, great lyrics. Take a listen to this song this week, okay? I've mentioned Ripe in some earlier episodes, and Talk to the Moon is about as funky as you can go here. This band truly understands what it means to be a band in the current environment. Plenty of bass, even more instruments, vocals that make you feel amazing. Talk to the Moon is such a jam that I cannot escape my first episode in Boston without at least mentioning Talk to the Moon and Ripe. It perfectly lays down the foundation. This song plays well with the rest of the EP. Also shout out to the song Carolee. But I think Ripe in general is significant because it plays in so many different spaces with their sound. From the alternative open, bit of a guitar riff, to the gradual slide into fast pace. This is a jam band. They want to make you feel good. This is the place you want to play. This is the space you want to play. And that's exactly what it is. It's playful. The elements are so in line with things that make you want to get up and dance. It's got an easy demeanor that delivers. Funk vibe, swagger. It's refreshing for a band to utilize all their pieces the way that they've done. Really similar to like the Allman Brothers Band. And they play it beautifully in harmony. This groove, you can't escape. The funk, you can't deny. And the jam, oh yes you can. Talk to the Moon by Ripe. So I gotta ask, how does it get any more Boston than the band Boston? You never hear bands like Miami or London or Des Moines, Iowa. Phoenix might be a little bit of an anomaly, though theirs takes after the bird. But any kid ever subjected to any sort of rock and roll education by their dad, especially on a road trip, had to listen to their dad try and hit the high notes on More Than a Feeling. And 99.9% of them probably got nowhere close. Lucky you if your pops got the chops. Probably had to beg your mom for control of the aux cord on those road trips, I swear. That was my experience. She wanted to listen to Sheryl Crow and Dixie Chicks. My dad wanted to go classic rock and roll. There was some compromise on Steve Miller Band. Tangent, sorry. Back to Boston. More Than a Feeling, what a song. Definitely classic rock. Easy beat, mixed with some soft electric. And the clapping beat kind of makes it feel a little more Mamas and the Papas than it really does Motley Crue. This song was immortalized in the mainstream back then, but it's been immortalized now through Guitar Hero. But does that make it a great song? First, it's as genre stereotype as you come. Name off classic bands on Family Feud, you've probably gotten Boston. Led Zeppelin and the Stones probably take the cake. Boston still gets you points. So I can't say that's a great song if it's that genre stereotype. If people are expecting it. Second, Bob Dylan could have sung this better. So many people have come and gone. Their faces fade as the years go by. Yet I still recall as I wander on, as clear as the sun in the summer sky. It's Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's all over this one. Cultural impact, though. Let's decide in the best way possible. If Guitar Hero can beat me after years off of practice, TV well ahead of the PS2 technology, and the idea that this song is genuinely better than me, I'll give it to them all the way. So I beat it. It only took like 3 or 4 tries, I swear. So to that degree, it's a great song. You know it is. It actually is a great song. There's a reason it stands the test of time. Bob Dylan didn't sing this, even in his prime. And Guitar Hero is a pretty good indicator, especially if it can tell me I'm not a rock god. Bummer that'll never happen. So that's Boston, an amazing cultural center. Championship sports, amazing music. People that you've never heard of rolling through because it is such a cultural hub for good music. Listen when I say that Boston is the place. Beantown. Check out some of the larger venues. Check out some of the smaller venues. Check out some of the no-name bands rolling through. It's an incredible city with incredible things to offer. The least of which are great music venues to get your kicks off. And that's 3Xs.Six. Really appreciate you guys coming in and watching, having you listen. In general, just supporting this. Again, we're on all social. Check us out. I'm Hayes Clement, and that's 3Xs.Six. We'll see you next time.